So we decided not to do the CEO panel this morning. This is the diversity panel. So I hope that everybody is okay with that. So let's dive right into all those DEI issues that we're all wondering about. Okay, so we've got about a half an hour, a little bit more maybe. We're counting down from 7, unless we have 7.5 minutes, but we'll look at that in a second. On some of the critical issues that some of these gentlemen who run some of the most important and successful companies in Europe, the idea is to get their opinion on these things. So we had a chat beforehand, and we decided to kind of focus on 2 things, because we've got about half an hour to do it. The first one is the fate of directories. What does the future of directories look like? And the second one is sales channels, right? Sales channels continue to change, continue to have different value depending on what kind of business you're in. So those are the 2 topics we want to cover today. So what I want to do, and we may be jumping around just a bit, but I want to jump into something Luke talked about in our prep conversation, which was solution selling. So I guess the most important question I have is, what is solution selling? And then I think a couple of other panel members might have a couple of questions for you too.
Shall I start?
Please.
Yeah. So John, you may not know this. I'm not from this industry. This is my 2nd year, so I'm learning. But this is hard. This is complicated, this industry. Like, it's not easy. And even after 2 years, I find it complex navigating all the features, all the functionality, all the different partners, everything that you could do to boost your business. And what we're finding is that, lo and behold, the small businesses that we represent, they find it complex too, and it's not their area of expertise. And so they're looking for somebody to help partner with them, to be their marketing assistant, to be their marketing team, to be their marketing department, depending on their scale. And so that's the approach that we have pivoted to now. So we're moving away from soulless product sales and even multi-product sales into much more of a partnership world in which we say, look, we will take care of that. We will be your marketing partner from here on. Just leave it to us. We'll take care of everything you need, all the leads, all the value tracking, everything that you could possibly need. We'll effectively be your marketing team at Yell. And it's very early days, so we really only launched this at the beginning of this year. But we're already 4 million of revenue into it now, so and the signs are looking very promising. So all the theories around, this should aid retention, it should be a better customer experience. All the leading indicators, and they are just leading indicators at this point, it's only 4 months, they sort of imply we're sort of hitting onto something with the businesses that we represent. And so the retention is twice as good as we've seen. The customer experience is noticeably better, and it seems to be resonating. And so we've got these solution packages. We're constantly evolving them. It's one of the reasons we're at Siinda, is to talk to a load of the people that might be in those and might help us with some of the challenges. But the signs so far are promising.
Michael?
So I have to admit that yesterday I learned from Tara what solution selling is. So I had one night to think about it. I would agree on that the SMB is not becoming, or this is not his profession, because he wants to do online marketing. So that's our job, or to digitize, that's our job. I'm not so agreeing that it has to be full packages. So we have a different approach. We have one package which is good enough in every regard to get seen, to get new customers, to regain new customers, reputation, whatever, or to get people on board. And then I think we still keep the focus on, if he wants to go in one direction, have a good, better, best solution for that. So, but I think what unites us is simplicity to the customer and also to the sales channel. Because if they have to rethink 209 different variations of a print product, which we had, I think it's really hard to do a training focused on sales, but not just on product.
Stefano?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big believer that the SMBs need a simple solution, and that we should sell packages instead of a single feature. Instead of selling a website, a campaign, we should just sell a package. This is what we do. In Switzerland, we started during the pandemic to just sell packages. The hero package is called Digital One. It's making 80% of our revenues. So, it's really, we sell packages, but that's not a solution, that's a package. I think coming from Microsoft and SAP, where solution selling was a lot of empathy, understanding the customers, talking about their needs. I mean, if we move to that, our cost of sales will explode. So I think we have to keep the intelligence and the complexity, hide this in the package, and give our salespeople a very simple solution to do the fire and forget sales. I don't see our salespeople in the marketing consultant for the customers. I see our salespeople as the person that really brings the best package with the best configuration at the best time with the customers. And it's really fire and forget approach, so that we can really offer a simple solution, but at the same time have a very efficient and cost-effective sales force.
So let's talk about that for a second. You've got, I think, one of the biggest sales forces in Europe. Right? I mean, you guys are the 800-pound gorilla in your country. Have you been able to teach old dogs new tricks in terms of, here's the products we were selling, now we're selling these bundles, that your digital packages? Has the same team that were successful in the past been successful with these new packages?
They are. Of course, we had a lot of churn, so about 45% churn. But the core is still the same team, but they don't do solution selling. They sell packages. It's a very different thing. The intelligence is actually sitting in the products unit, in the customer development unit. We have a customer lifecycle management process, and this is has nothing to do with sales. Sales gets, these are the targets list. This is the package configuration. We think it's right for the customers, and they go and sell. Yeah. They have 1 hour appointment, they go and sell. They have to close the deals. So I think if we start training the sales force to do different things, as we did at Microsoft and SAP, our cost of sales will be enormous, and we cannot afford that. And we don't want to afford that. It's better to have 20, 30 people in the company sitting in the products unit, in the customer success units that have the intelligence, that manage the customer life cycle, instead of having 350 salespeople that do the same thing.
Hosni, where are you on your sales team? What the sales team look like in a couple of years' time?
Well, in a couple of years from now, I might not have a sales team at all. But just let me go back to your questions. You talked about solution selling and what's solution selling. I really hope nobody here is believing that this industry is doing solution selling, because we're not, and it's not managed to do so, and it's not fit to do so.
Luke was the only one who said that, just to be clear.
I think last time I sat in this panel together with you, Stefano, we didn't agree with each other, but I totally agree with you. This is a package selling, and solution selling is not fit for the industry. I mean, we have the same solution or product or package to whatever your needs might be as an SMB, right? We don't adapt that, and we don't evolve that. We don't develop it based on the customer needs or know-how or whatever. We have the same packages for everyone, and that's also the beauty of it, because we are doing transactional sales. We do, you called it fire and forget. We try not to talk in that way with our sales team, but that's what we do, right? We have the transactional sales, and we try to make the solution developing rather before the products or packages come out to the sales teams. And to continue with your question, what does your sales team look like in a couple of years? We have actually taken a decision to deploy all our sales teams in a couple of years, because we believe that it will go all digital. And we have a date set for that, and it's also internally communicated, so they know that all the sales teams are not going to sell anymore in a couple of years. We're not going to fire them. It means that they're going to do other things, because there are a lot of sales companies not having any sales teams or sales guys, but they are doing sales either way.
So I think Michael really wants to ask a question here.
Now, I was told by you that we have to be controversial.
Yeah, please.
You were?
Yeah. It started with the stock choice, but go ahead.
That's
go ahead,
not
Michael.
controversial. Yeah? That's neutral. I would take totally this the other position. So if we are in the area of AI, I think there's abundance of content, there's abundance of conversation, there's abundance of conversational interfaces, whatever, running at us. my thesis is that we always have to hunt for the scarcity. And the scarcity will be one-on-one connections between humans. So for our company, we state that there will be no ending, that we will try to get as much people on board, because concerning our customers or members in the future, we will have to empower the connection between the people. Because they really don't know how to do online advertising, but they will get a lot of emails, a lot of calls, a lot of whatever. So the one thing they trust is a personal one-on-one contact. And equipped with products which they could understand, and where they've got the feeling that the salesperson also understands that. And after that, they will do a lot by themselves. But in the first beginning, I'm a big believer in a one-to-one human contact.
May I just reply shortly to that? How do you think you will buy your house insurance in a couple of years?
I'm not buying a house insurance. I'm selling digitization for Mittelstand.
I'm just talking about the trends. How do you think you will buy your house insurance?
I don't know.
I believe that you will not. You will not yourself buy the house insurance, but your assistant will. And I think every company or every person will have an assistant at the end doing those minor or administrational tasks for you. And I believe that what we are doing now, it is a commodity, and it will be even more of a commodity in the future, which will make sense that not to have a person actually handling the sales, but letting the customer or the customer's assistant doing the buy.
But Ozzy hasn't, and then Luke, you're up. Haven't we been selling commodities for a while, but those commodities that we are selling, and we're trying to package them in a factory behind the curtain, there've never been a commodity product to the customers that we're selling them to, right?
I think they are, and they will be even more. The generation that puts a lot of value in the personal connection and the human being will die. I mean, our customers that have been grown with us, the best customers, they are over 55, 60. So they will come, they will give their stores and shops and companies to their kids. And this is a different generation. So I think today we're still depending, and we still put a lot of value on the sales force, because this human connection is very important. But if I look in 5 years from now, maybe 7 years, maybe in 8 years, maybe 4 years, maybe 3 years, this generation will die. My generation, will go and be retired. Your generation will go and be retired. The family business will just go to the next generation. And so everything will become a commodity, and the human, buying from a human, it's a trend in the society, will just die out. And so I think we will need less salespeople in the future, and the salespeople will really, really focus on fire and forget and the most valuable customers.
I think
I love being sat next to Stefano. It's always fun because look, once again,
Just words like "die" don't come up very
well,
often.
that's right. I'm going to go, maybe just for the perspective of being devil's advocate, I'm going to go completely the other way and say, if all we are is a reseller of a commodity product, which is a fire and forget model, we are doomed. There has to be some element in there of partnership, something that we can supply over and above just a machine learning algorithm that can say, buy this product, it's this price. And that I think goes to the heart of whether the difference between a package of products and a solution sell. And that is where we come in, and we have contact points every step of the way. We sort of hand-holding, we're making sure that it feels like a human connection, it feels like a personal approach. Time will tell whether there's margin in it to run a business that way, but I kind of feel that if we're only just selling commodity products as resellers, we are doomed, and so we can't be in that model.
Yeah, commodity doesn't mean that we are a reseller of Duda and Yext and Matchcraft and Google and Meta. Commodity means it's very, very easy for the customers to buy and very easy to use, and there are alternatives on the market.
Yeah,
so the customers can switch whenever they want. And that's the reality. Look at the energy market, at the housing market, the way you buy cars, you can switch. And if we look at the future of Gen AI and Sam Altman and the speeches of Suleiman, they always say there will be the future is about having a digital personal assistant that is taking care of most of the stuff for you. So you will have an assistant just going out and buying your new telecommunication, your communication data package, your new house, your new car, and probably also your new website if you ever need one, your present solution, optimizing your campaign.
But then,
Michael?
then going back from Brave New World and the theory of Patty Mays back in the 90s with the agents, I think everybody knows those ideas since then. Yeah. I totally disagree. Yeah. I agree that maybe we have to die. Yeah. Unless, unless we visited the Rejuvenation Summit in Berlin, which happened this weekend, where they sell rejuvenation. But at least for now, I think we have to take this in mind. No, if you look at all those DIY sites, I think the same argument is the same as you all mentioned. Yeah? So you can do everything by yourself. Yeah? You can do this, you can do that. Yeah? If you look at and business is going to die, the amount of small business in Germany, yeah, is always the same, but they are different businesses. So I definitely see a lot of the businesses right now being developed, which also need the first step to get into the digital marketing. And for me, it's really more promising to work with people, how we can arrange that we can have a margin out of the human contact. I totally agree. Yep. The advertising model with us was totally dead. Yep. Getting every year or every third year to a customer, yep, that was not the cost of sales were unbelievable high. We lost a lot of people because they didn't believe that they can earn on the field the same amount in a subscription model. And we had to figure how that they can get money and we don't have to raise the share without getting in absolute numbers more revenue into the company. Yeah, and last year we hired over 200 new salespeople. This year alone, I think it's about 50 or 60 we already did. So it seems that the model is working. And we see a lot of positive impact that the conversation with the customer starts with the human. And this then also reflects on churn. So the churn is less than if you just leave them alone and have no human contact. That's my theory. Yeah, I mean, in a couple of years we will all be dead, or we will all sit here and then look back.
We're going to replay that video.
No, there is. We should think about the generation shift. You know, there is a segment in the market, in all our markets, that is startups. The startups, you know, their dream, or the startups, if you do a focus group, they say, well, I want to have a digital system, and tell them, I need a new website, I'm a new, I don't know, massage salon, and these are my services, and you expect this assistant to build your website. And this stuff is a commodity. You can go and at least choose between 3-4 assistants, and they will build your website. So you don't need a man in the loop. Said so, we are also 100 salespeople. You know, we have 350 feet on the ground, 700 feet on the ground, 350 salespeople. So I believe in the short term, this human touch gives you super profits, gives you some less churn. But if we think about strategically the future of the company, how is our industry developing? I think we will need 90% less salespeople.
Yeah, and how will you get reach of the new SMB owners? They won't talk to you on the phone. They won't answer the phone. So that's one problem to get a hold of them.
So I think everybody's wondering, what's the date that you told your salespeople you will no longer be selling? You'll be doing something else, Hosni.
Let's do it. If you do want to get rid of your sales force, I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
You're going to do what?
I'm going to take it. I'm going to employ them.
In Sweden?
If you
You saw it here first. We're doing transactions as well.
We might bid as well. Hang on.
You've always wanted to enter Sweden, haven't you?
I mean, one of the experiences we had when I started as a CEO at Local Search 8 years ago, we had about 120 million in print and about 100 million, and this data was public at that time, so about 100 million in directories business. This was all we did. Today, we did zero after this business. So all the salespeople that used to go out and sell print and sell directories, they are not there any longer. Now there are other salespeople, there are less salespeople than we used to be, and the company is more profitable. So I think, you know, the link, the assumptions that you get more profits having salespeople and a human touch, it's not always true. If you have a pure digital product, a big package with different features, different things inside, and we can call it a solution, or we can call it a package or a bundle, but you have a thing that is covering multiple needs, full digital fulfillment, you can really optimize your profits, and you're not dependent on hiring and firing salespeople and big pension plan that then hits the company in 10 years, 15 years from now. Because this is the really sunk cost of the sales force. It's not what they cost today. It's what they will cost in 10, 15 years when they go and have a, you know, pension plan and so on. So from the company perspective, I maintain, based on the experience we did with directories and with print, that we need digital products, and we need products, fire and forget, and salespeople will be much, much less in the future.
Okay.
My salespeople speak German, so, you know, at some point in time we
I'm
can
interested.
discuss. But they get Swiss salaries, so.
But also Swiss prices, so.
So it looks like we have consensus on the sales point, which is good. So let's move on to the second topic. So Luke, when your people are talking to customers and putting solutions together, is Yell.com a listing in the directory part of that solution?
It is for now. I mean, it's in every solution we sell, and it's the, you know, we think it's the one piece that can't easily be replicated elsewhere, and so there is a part of it that is, you know, essential to those solutions. I think the bigger question is, will it always be there? And that's, I guess, at the heart of the question. And with everything going on and the world sort of going the way it is, and Google muscling its way into that space, we don't know. But for now, you know, it's a big part of our business. There's you know, 60 million of profit sitting in that Yell space, and so we hope it's going to be around for some time to come. And we're doing a lot of work to keep it active, investing in it, and you know, long may it continue for us.
Is it a more difficult product to sell now as part of that solution than it was in the past? Are you having to defend it rather than sell it, or?
Yes, I think that's right. So you know, the name, I think the name is still valuable. The brand is still valuable. It's, you know, not in an ironic way. I think people genuinely, you know, like the value it can provide, and plenty of businesses still associate with it and still understand it. Still, you know, people remember the Yellow Pages ads back in the UK. So there's something in that helps us. I don't think it's dragging us down yet. I think it's an asset for us at the moment. So, but you're right. I mean, it's getting harder, and it's not the, you know, it's not the easy sell that it once was. It used to just sort of, you know, pick up the phone and say, we can give you £20 back for every pound you spend, and we're not in that world now. But it's still there, and it's still part of our solutions.
Stefano?
I think it was an asset during the transition, our Yellow Pages, but it's not an asset any longer. So we give it for free. You can go and list yourself and give it for free. We're trying to do a couple of things. We did a major relaunch to try to reposition our Yellow Pages product to be a transactional platform, the booking.com for local services. We are started verticalizing. We have a vertical business making about 50 million, so, you know, it's growing very, very nice. But directories is an end of life. We didn't communicate it when, but I think if we don't manage to make the transition to verticalize or to make really a powerful, easy-to-use transactional platform, then at some point in time it will be like the phone book, printed directories. It will just be, you know, just decommissioned, and we will really focus just on digital marketing packages via digital delivery channels.
Looks like Michael completely agrees with you.
As always. I think we did the effort to balance our B2B sales organization, so we're happy on that side. And I think in Germany we really missed out doing a lot of stuff for our directories. I would not just mention the Yellow Pages, but also the White Pages. I think on the Yellow Pages side, or in Sellwerk, we had to change the business model to be successful. I think the same will happen also to the brands which we have in the Yellow Pages. So if you look at Yellow Pages, there's someone having money in his hand, tries to search something, compare, transact. And I think we are just on the search part. So we have a lot of things to do until the money is being spent. So and there are also opportunities to think about that. And I'm pretty positive that we will find out doing something with good partners. We can't do just be the only B2C interface. I think there are some stronger companies also in the room, Microsoft, Apple, Google. I think we have to get in a partnership with that. On the other hand, I would focus also on the white pages, because coming back on the idea that human contact is the new scarcity, I think there in the white pages you find authentic people. And that would be one of the interesting ideas for us, really, to elaborate a little bit more. How can we give service to humans that they find real humans on the other side? So we do this in several community sites like Gute Frage or Motor Talk, where we connect always people together around certain topics and give some value in the connection between the two of them. And I think we have to find something also on the white pages, which makes them come to our sites and then fulfill the need of the small business being seen. So that's our theory.
I love Gute Frage. I have not been using it since October 2022 when ChatGPT was launched. Now I'll ask, the assistant, so tell me, my BMW has this and this, is it normal or not? And I get the instant answer. So I think I like the idea strategically to think about how can we leverage the white pages to bring personalized services, digital services. But I think we still are betting on the fact that there are humans, and the human factor is very important. And the success of ChatGPT and Gemini and in the future Llama tells us that the new generation wants different things.
The good news is traffic in Gute Frage has no problem.
Hosni, what do you think? Eniro.se, big part of your plans?
It definitely is. We see our web pages, we have different for the different Nordic countries. They're definitely a big asset of ours. We have 10 million unique visitors a month. That's half of the Nordic population visiting one of our websites. So we definitely see it as an asset. We always try to go, we call it VOI. Well, yeah, VOI product first when selling, and then adding and upselling on the other digital marketing products and services that we have. So for me, that's, I mean, you were talking about the 4 pillars of Siinda before. Some of them are actually our pillars as well at Eniro, and one of them is innovation. How do we actually create innovation in every department? And that's one big part of our investment. How do we actually innovate the Eniro.se platform? And how do we make it look and feel, and what kind of value will it create for the user in 6 months' time and in 2 years' time? So that's a big importance to us, and we get paid for it. We invoice, yeah.
Do you have a plan B if the directory business goes down to zero?
We've got a plan on that. So if the directory business is kind of on its way out, and I think, or Google is going to take it, right? Google wants to be the final jumping off point for directories businesses. There's a part of Google's mission statement which is about organizing the world's information, just trying to just get across every single piece of information out there, and they've done it in multiple industries. So I came from travel, where they can go to the same booking systems and get the same prices and the same dates as Expedia and Booking.com can get. Where they've really struggled in the past, and where I don't think they're going to play, is in the complex exchange of information between two parties, so a business and a consumer. So, for example, they haven't gone after eBay on the listings. Every single listing is unique on eBay. So where there is a particular job that needs doing, and this is our marketplace, what we call the marketplace. So where I need something doing that's complex and requires a roofer to come and have a look, or some photos to be assessed, and multiple vendors might come and pitch for the same job. That's the area where we see Google least likely to play and attack our business. So we're investing quite heavily in the marketplace growth.
And that's the first time we agree on this panel. That's why I call it transactional, to make our directories a transactional platform. But that's a marketplace approach. It's not a directory business. So I also think if we can automate and make the conversation between, automate and make it intelligent between the small business and the users, then we have an asset that cannot be copied by users. But to get there, it's a different mindset. You have to build a marketplace and not the directory business.
Okay, one quick last question for everybody. How important will the disappearing organic results on a search page be for your brand? So most of the brands in the room have been built either through a publication and then through directories, and in a third phase, offering additional valuable services to the customer. But as Yell.com is no longer the top organic ranking, or let's be honest, we don't know what Google, whether, obviously Google doesn't want any organic rankings, right? They want to be able to charge for everything there. How will that impact the brand, your brands going forward if consumers don't see it as much?
It will be huge. I mean, and we've seen it happening over the last 10 years. If you look at if you did a search result on Google and look at where organic rankings were 10 years ago and compare it to where they are now, I mean, it's pages and pages down. I mean, we have seen organic traffic shrinking off the back of that. But I think that kind of goes down to the point that Stefano and I were agreeing on, which is the need to invest in something, which is a reason to come directly to the site. Because I kind of agree. Like, at the moment, we're scrambling to see who can be number 1, number 2, and number 3 in that list. Well, what do you do when there's no list anymore? And it's just ChatGPT or Bard or somebody, you know, is going to be answering the question. So it is going to be a big thing, and we do need to react to that.
Michael?
I think I just thought about what would Google think if organic is gone? Because they rely on that. Yep, they don't rely on this single answer, so that's the vulnerable point. So I think Google will be very keen on keeping those varieties. Also, out of regulatory reasons, I think it would be a good idea to do that. But I think agreeing with Stefano, I think the conversation will be totally different, and that's something we should talk about. So why wouldn't we, so alternative be, what is if we just think about the directories or the B2B sales as a WhatsApp chat, ever-evolving WhatsApp chat? Because if you go back to the Clue Train Manifesto, which has been published in 2000, at the beginning of the internet, first statement, I think, was markets are conversations. So, and if you look at our behavior on the phone, I think we're just WhatsApping all the time.
So
Thank
to
you.
answer your question, John, if the brand local search disappears, I'm happy. Because this is what we used to be, local search, what we were in the past, and that's not what we are today. The only reason that keeps preventing us to changing the brand, it's a cost associated with it. So, and the discussion within the company about branding, which is always very, very emotional. And so we don't want to take it. But you know, if tomorrow the brand dies, I'm the first one to really get some champagne and have a party.
So can I?
Okay, you want to buy that too, Michael?
Yeah, I want to have the sales force and the
brand.
and the brand,
Yeah.
please.
Hosni, last word.
You get them both to Swiss prices.
No, I agree very much with Luke. It will be a disaster if we cannot get the organic searches, but also it depends on how far have we come with our development and innovation and transformation of the other part of the organization. That will well see how much it impacts and affects us, basically. So yeah.
Theoretically as well, the Digital Markets Act should protect
It should.
for a while. So
We do have some more sessions on DMA, right? So that will be covered in detail. That's why we haven't gone into it. But thanks, Luke. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
thanks, John.